Hello there. Welcome to Just the Dis. My name is Brian, and today we are talking about Blu-rays. As usual, we are talking about some Code Red titles. Now, these are all reissues, if you will, coming as co-releases through Kino Lorber. And so I have purchased all of these in the past directly from Code Red. But for those that missed out on the sometimes very slim window to get these films, now you have another opportunity. You can get them straight from Kino. You can get them off Amazon. But I just want to go through the titles real quickly just so you are made aware of them. In case you are a Code Red collector and, you missed out, there's some fun stuff in here. I'll start with The Love Butcher. And this is from 1975. It is directed by Michael Angel and Don Jones. This is a fascinating movie, let me tell you. Very weird. There's like a string of murders in this, I guess, sort of upscale neighborhood, and the police don't immediately connect that all the victims share the same gardener. I believe all the victims are women, and this gardener isn't a suspect because he's sort of a bent-over, kind of crippled old man. But the trick of this one is that old man is actually sort of a dual personality psychopath, wherein he takes off the glasses and he is able to turn into that guy, and this kind of Adonis that is sort of found a way to seduce a lot of the women that he goes to work for as the gardener, and then for whatever reason he ends up killing them often. But he runs into a problem. I remember this is the part that really hooked me about the movie. At one point he goes to work for this woman, and he'll basically show up and just knock on the door as the Adonis and just kind of like ingratiate himself, and usually he's so irresistible the women just let him inside, but this woman is like, no, go away. I have no interest in you. What are you doing here? Creep. And I think that kind of breaks him. I think that kind of sets off this psychopath inside and just pushes the killing forth. I can't remember if he was doing as much killing before or what, but I do remember that's sort of the inciting incident of the movie, is this woman turning him down as the Adonis character. But it is a really interesting psycho riff and very memorable in that way. And very strange, but I kind of liked it for what that's worth. This has an audio commentary with director Don Jones, moderated by R.A. the Rugged Man, and it is an all-region disc, 2:35:1 aspect ratio. A strange little horror film, but one maybe my favorite in this group. Next up, we have one from Jackie Kong, The Being. She, of course, directed Blood Diner. That's one of her big claims to fame. She also did Night Patrol, which I think came out on Blu-ray through Code Red, maybe Scorpion. That's more of a Police Academy type comedy, but this is much more the Blood Diner school of horror. A strange creature roams and kills people in a small town of Pottsville. Local cop Detective Mortimer Lutz, Bill Osco, is on the case as the fiendish beast kills losers one by one in this classic 80s monster film. I remember enjoying this one. I remember the monster being interesting, and I forgot that Jose Ferrer and Ruth Buzzy are in it, but I do remember that Martin Landau's in it, and you can see him on the back there looking very scientisty. It says, let's see, Academy Award winners Martin Landau, Jose Ferrer, and Dorothy Malone co-star with comedians Kinky Friedman, Murray Langston, Johnny Dark, Kent Perkins, and 76 sex symbol Ruth Buzzy. And it's written and directed by Jackie Kong, and this is from an HD master from 2017. And this has an audio commentary with Jackie Kong and an audio commentary with star Johnny Dark as well. So multiple tracks. It's an all-region disc, 178:1. But I do, again, remember the monster being pretty good, and I just like Jackie Kong as a director. I think, pairing this with Blood Diner would be a lot of fun, although I think Blood Diner is a bit more tongue-in-cheek And this is that to a degree, but is a little more straight horror. And I think that's why I don't know if I would be blasphemous to say that I prefer this to Blood Diner, but I think I do. So The Being, and that is from 1982. Next, we have a sort of lesser seen slasher film, Scream. No, not that Scream. This one is from 1981 and stars Woody Strode, among others. I don't remember this one blowing me away necessarily, but I did buy it because I'm a slasher completist. I guess it's about a group of people on a rafting excursion. Oh, yeah, I remember this. And they happen upon a deserted town and decide to set up camp, and then the murders start occurring. And it says it appears the town is not as deserted as they originally thought. Someone out there does not want them around, and when they desperately try to escape, their rafts are destroyed. What possible hope or survival do they have now? Starring Woody Strode, Greg Palmer, Hank Worden, and Ethan Wayne. Oh, very nice. John Wayne's son, who stars as his grandson in Big Jake. I just watched that recently, so that's why I'm thinking of that. But yeah, I do like seeing the old guard and Woody Strode in a slasher film. This one might be a little slow going for some. It's directed by Byron Cusenberry. There's an audio commentary with Cusenberry on here, and this is a 2K scan from the original negative. And you can also play it in Marissa B's movie mode, which is kind of a Elvira-y kind of thing. So that's cool. Also all region 178. But if you're a slasher completist, this is worth your time at least. So that is Scream. And then we have Delirium. Now this one I bought and I have not watched yet. It's directed by Lamberto Bava, son of the great Mario Bava, and it looks pretty nuts. You have George Eastman, Daria Nicolodi, and she is the buxom... Gioia, Serena Grandi, star of Tinto Brass's Miranda, is a buxom centerfold. That's her on the front, obviously. Working for Pussycat Magazine. In such a profession, having an admirer or two is expected, but Gloria's new admirer is a vicious killer. He murders her fellow magazine models one at a time, using a variety of twisted implements of death. Gaia is lucky recipient of a collection of photos with each of the murdered bodies arranged around posters of her. Renowned Italian star Grandi, known as the Dolly Parton of Italy, leads the cast in this giallo classic, which stars George Eastman, Daria Nicolodi, David Brandon, and screen legend Capuccini. Delirium was wonderfully directed by Lamberto Bava. 2016 HD master with extensive and painstaking color correction. On-camera interviews with Lamberto Bava, actor George Eastman, cinematographer Gian Lorenzo Battaglia, and art director Massimo Antonello Gelling. Vintage interviews with Bava, Eastman, and David Brandon. This is a Region A disc. But definitely has a lot of extra features, and I am definitely interested to check it out. I can't believe I haven't watched my copy of this already. But yeah, that is a Lamberto Bava film as part of this group. And lastly, we have The Strangeness, which is another one that I've always meant to see. Always reminded me of something like The Boogans. It seems like The Boogans in terms of its, there's a mining area and there's a monster. And I like these new covers, by the way. A lot of these have new covers that are slightly different, except for The Love Butcher, I think looks similar, but they're slightly different from the previous covers that you could get. But yeah, this one definitely looks interesting. You got the mine and the creature there, and bite into this rare 1980s horror film about a big and very strange stop-motion monster in a cave terrorizing and eating innocent miners. A group of young miners venture into the Gold Spike mine in search of gold. Even after being warned by old-time prospectors to stay away, the miners proceed into the caverns anyway and soon realize that there's no gold in these mines, but also they're not alone. What they find is a horrific man-eating monster sliding through the caverns, looking to fill its cavernous appetite. It's feeding time and the miners are on the menu. The Strangeness is a fun, cool, independent horror feature film made years before digital video. The Strangeness is also one of the last feature films to use stop-motion animation effects. This special edition was remastered from the original 16mm vault elements. So it has an audio commentary with Melanie Ann Phillips, Mark Sawicki, Chris Huntley, moderated by Jeff McKay, on-camera interview with Melanie Ann Phillips, Mark Sawicki, and Chris Huntley, 6 short films, and extensive still gallery. And that's it. I'm out.